Any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to.
Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be diving down into the charts, taking a look at what has been going on most recently with Bitcoin. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all of that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop and take a look at what is going on here with Bitcoin and what might actually happen next here with BTC. Okay guys, we're going to really start things off by, taking a look at what is going on with our hourly chart. Now, for the most part, it's the hourly chart that shows us what is going to be happening within the next kind of little while. Nothing too strenuous, just kind of, what we would expect to happen with the next kind of couple of days here with Bitcoin. So as we come back into this chart, we can obviously take a look at what has been going on, and we have this pullback, right? So the head and shoulder kind of pattern looks like it's kind of coming in. The shoulder, this right shoulder, didn't come down as low as we were potentially kind of expecting it to. We've kind of reached this high point just up here with a bit of a triple tap with these wicks. This actually comes in at a high of about 38,236. So we're going to kind of call that the right hand shoulder top, but there is a potential of going up a little bit higher. But at the same time, we are on a slight decline because this neckline is actually declining. Okay, so that actually could be a really good top here for Bitcoin right here on that kind of side right there. So as we kind of think about what is going on with Bitcoin, we want to be very aware that the next kind of step does look like it's a pullback down, and pretty much aligned to what we've been talking about for quite some times, in terms of that $31,000 target. So as we come back into the desktop here, we haven't come into that invalidation point. That still stands up here at 39,650. Until that comes in, $31,000 is the most probable area that I see on the macro trend. So overall, as we start to think about where things are going, and that potential pullback here with Bitcoin, ultimately we are looking to pull back down into these lower ranges here on the charts. So as we think about that, obviously this low point, this neckline kind of is around that 35,900 approximately in this kind of range on this decline. So we are thinking about that. Now there's a couple of things here that might actually help aid some form of recovery, but I do think that we are definitely on that kind of cusp of working our way back down, right? So we are heading towards these areas, and that's pretty clear. But we should be very aware of a couple of things that I think might actually invalidate this move, right? So what we have is an impulsive move from down here. We have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3 coming up, a wave 4 currently working down, and we want to check to see if this crosses wave 1 on this pullback. But let's just leave it down here for now, and then we go up into this higher range here. Now, I don't think this fifth wave is going to be a huge one. And again, if we actually measure this distance, we'd get an idea as to what might actually go on in terms of retracement. We don't want to go down lower than this, and it's very possible that we do, and that would invalidate it. So we want to be watching out for that. But if we do have something, of a reasonable kind of fourth wave here, pulling back down, what does that mean in terms of, where we are going to be heading next with Bitcoin? So we grab this, we throw it up, and we can see that we might actually head out towards $38,000. But again, what it's not going to do, guys, is it's not going to take us into that world where we actually see invalidation on the bigger macro trend. Overall, what we're actually looking for and are going to see, in my opinion, is $31,000 Bitcoin. I don't think that's actually been invalidated yet, and not until we reach those higher levels. And I can't see anything here on the shorter time frame that's actually going to support that move just now as well. So as we think about this, it's well worth just noting that this could be an impulsive move up, but I don't see it moving so far up, in fact, that it's going to invalidate the bigger play of $31,000. And of course, we want to acknowledge that this could easily just be an A, B, and C move, even though this is an impulsive move. If that fourth wave does come down and crosses 37,100, 30,000, yeah, $37,104. If it crosses that level, it's not impulsive up. Okay, so we want to be very, very cautious over that. But ultimately, good move to the upside is being had here with Bitcoin, and this expected pullback that we're seeing right now actually isn't too bad. It's actually a pretty decent kind of pullback that we've been experiencing here with Bitcoin. And you know, if we actually take a look at that, we can see the stochastic RSI is also lowering quite nicely to the downside. So from this point in time, we can actually acknowledge that this particular pullback for Bitcoin with that lower stochastic RSI means that we are more than likely going to push up into that fifth wave. I do not see us going down low enough to invalidate that first wave either. So that's quite encouraging here on the smaller timeframes for Bitcoin, right? So good push up has been happening here. This is looking like a fourth wave correction with a higher push up, but that will then obviously lead us into invalidation. And again, what we have here is basically a 618 retracement on the 5 impulsive waves down. Okay, so 5 impulsive waves down, looking at 5 impulsive waves up, very much like a V bottom as well. So, you know, interesting kind of thing to be had here, but we want to avoid V bottoms where possible, and they're not the best things to be trading. But what we do have is in 5 waves down, 5 waves potentially up. And that could actually align nicely to a rejection point of our 786. So when we actually think about retracement from the start position of our 5 waves up and that fifth wave low, you know, bouncing up to the 786 as being 38,600 might be the rejection point that actually then leads Bitcoin down into those new lower lows and continuing that macro trend to the downside at approximately $31,000, where I think it is likely to come to a bit of a close. That's the kind of most probable area that I do think that we are likely to see Bitcoin, and where I do think it is likely to start actually a macro trend reversal to the upside, going and basically looking for new all-time highs. So overall, actually looking pretty good on our hourly chart. You know, much expected kind of pullback, but there's going to be a little bit more relief as we push up. Again, this will probably be over the weekend, a little bit of a gradual kind of climb up towards 36,000, and then I would anticipate here we would potentially be looking at some kind of bigger kind of play to the downside. I don't know how that looks yet, but I would expect there to be something kind of big to basically bring us down into this low area of our right shoulder, where that then starts to get invalidated and we start to see a bigger play to the lower lows that we've been kind of talking about and, you know, articulating on the channel for what feels like a very long time at this point. It seems to be quite boring in terms of the charts and the patterns that have been going on most recently, but I do expect this is likely to kind of come to a bit of a close eventually, and we're going to start to see, you know, a bit of a play where Bitcoin actually starts that macro trend. But we do need to go through the next little bit more downside to get the little bit of pain over with, and once that is done, I do expect a reversal. So that's kind of what's going on over the next couple of days. That's how I see it. I think we're going to potentially push up a little bit, complete this right shoulder, come back down, complete it completely here, break the neckline, retest the neckline, and then potentially go down to $31,000, where we then start to see that macro reversal. Overall, whether that actually happens in 2 days or 3 days a week, you know, time is always the hardest thing, but I would imagine that over the weekend we should push up, and then by Monday we'll be looking to pull back down. Again, if we actually take a look at the daily, again, nothing has been invalidated for our macro trends. We obviously have three key areas really targeting out the $31,000 range. We haven't got anything lower than that, but there is an argument that we could draw up a wave count on this chart that actually shows us with a potential kind of move down. And again, if I think I throw that into let me check the 8 hourly, 4 hourly, this one. This could potentially play out to a $28,000 Bitcoin if we were to be really kind of like pessimistic about it, and we wanted to kind of really be, you know, really kind of worried about where Bitcoin is like to go, really be really bearish, and what would we actually see in terms of what is going on with the charts for Bitcoin. Well, this particular chart is the one that actually shows us kind of the worst case scenario, in my opinion, and how we kind of get down into those lower ranges, right? So here we have basically a big impulsive move, a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. And the wave 5 being a 1.618 extension, going down lower as 21K would be a 2.618. I think that is very, very unlikely, but it's an area that we should probably acknowledge as well. Now, inside here, we have 5 waves as a part of our wave 1. We have an ABC up, then we have 5 waves coming down, and we have 3 waves coming up, and then we are looking for 5 waves to come down. Okay, so we're looking for 5 waves down on the macro trend that basically then allows us to see this 1.618 coming at $28,000. This effectively is a retest of the area of the lows that we had previously, right? And it lines up so beautifully well. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, but I don't think it's probable until we actually reassess the markets at $31,000. That hasn't come in yet. Most of the other charts that we're taking a look at, they are indicating to us, that $31,000 is the most probable area that we are likely to find the macro trend reversal. However, it is important that we acknowledge that there's a wave count here that does actually show $28,000. That $28,000 is a retest of an area that we've also seen previously. That is another really big thing for Bitcoin here, knowing that we are potentially coming down to a retest of another really strong area of support. This could be a huge push to the upside, and as you know, this is a zigzag pattern on our macro trend. If we actually shoot up into a weekly and come over to this chart here, and I actually just expand this up a little bit, as you can see, the zigzag for us actually looks like it is ending at $31,000, but it's very possible that we actually just come down a little bit lower into that $28,000 range, and then we absolutely nail this fifth wave push to the upside. So there's a lot of things going on with Bitcoin. Am I worried? Am I concerned? No, not at all. And this is something that we can see inside the charts. This is the end of a pullback, a very significant pullback that we've seen, but it is the very end of it. And what we've got to do now is not let our emotions get the better of us, as we are effectively, in my opinion, would be selling the bottom of the market, which we wouldn't want to be doing. Instead, I think it's very important that we actually focus in on what is actually going on here. This pattern looks like it's coming to its completion, and once that comes in, we should be looking for a big explosion to the upside. 2022, I think, is going to be a year that we see new all-time highs, not just for Bitcoin, but for many other altcoins as well. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. Tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.